Sent KSHB 41 News reporter Claire Bradshaw to KCI. She's live. She's talking to people there. Claire, what are you seeing? What's going on in Kansas City?
Good morning, guys. When I got here, you would not know that there were some ground stops affecting KCI. So right now, the TSA line is moving smoothly. But when you look at the airline counters, I'm talking American, United, and Delta. Those were the three major airline carriers that were affected by the outage here and that are flying through KCI. You're going to see heavy lines. I'm talking with one passenger, Casey Conda. She is from Lewisburg. They're trying to fly to Houston today, right, through United. So what have you experienced when you got to KCI?
Well, when we got here, we needed to just check a bag and drop it off. We'd already paid online for it, but all of the kiosk machines weren't working. People were long lines. We'd get up to print your ticket and the printer wouldn't work. And so it's just been a lot of lines and everything's taken a long time to get through.
How did you first find out about the outage and what was your plan of action?
So we really didn't know till we got here. My brother had texted us when we left the house this morning, but he thought our flight was okay. It turns out that's because the app wasn't working, so we thought the flight was okay as well. We just actually got notice that it got pushed back to 7. So we kind of didn't walked into it without knowing what was going on.
So your flight's pushed back to 7. What else do you know? What else has United told you?
We haven't known anything. My dad has been in line for probably 45 minutes trying to check a bag. He just texted me that he might have to switch lines again. So we really are kind of up in the air. We're hoping to get that bag checked and get through security. And then hopefully, since we got the notification in the app, hopefully everything's kind of getting back online.
And we know that you need to go get back in line as well. So we're going to let you do that because it is a hectic morning this morning for travelers. Another traveler we spoke with said that she had booked a rental car just in case her flight wasn't going to be leaving on time so she could get to Indiana. Another man we talked with said he's been through a couple of ground stops or situations like this, and he also had booked a rental car just in case and said it was pretty easy. So KCI, they're not handling airline to airline specifics, but they did say American is now boarding, plans to depart soon. Delta and United, we do not have word on yet. KCI suggests, though, you should be aware of this before you get to the airport. Still come to the airport if you can, but do as much as you can through your phone if your airline's app is working. That's what we know right now at KCI. Back to you guys.
Claire, what's the latest update? What have travelers been telling you?
Good morning, you guys. We have been talking with travelers, especially with United and Delta, who have either had their flight delayed or pushed to tomorrow. I do have an update to give you right now. Delta tweeted out a few moments ago they've resumed some flight departures after that outage. We don't know if they have departures right now going out of KCI, but I'm here with a Delta traveler, Kevin Harris. Kevin, you said you're traveling to Alabama? Correct? To see an aunt's 80th birthday tonight. When is your flight going to be taking off? What are you dealing with right now?
Yeah, so we were just surprised to learn that when we got here that there was that global outage, and we're having to recalibrate. We may hop in the van and drive, but at this point we wouldn't. It is my aunt's 80th birthday party, and we were hoping to get there, but we may not get there till like 11 p.m. according to the flight, so we would miss it. But we're gonna just see what other options are available and see if we can make it.
What have you been dealing with at the Delta counter this morning?
They've really just all booked. All flights have been changed and booked and are full, so there's really not a lot of options, which I understand. But yeah, we got to just, we're going to explore the other ticket counters and see what's available, if anything.
Did you get an update before you got to the airport this morning, and did you find out all about all of this when you got to the front desk?
I found out just when I tried to check in, and from the attendant this morning. I got a text about 5 minutes ago that said my flight may be affected. That was the first thing I've heard about it. But the app is also, at least for us, the app was also down and not working either. So it's really hard to tell what's going on.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much, Kevin, and safe travels however you choose to get to Alabama today. That's a common thing that we're hearing, that even though the airlines are telling you to do what you can through their app, KCI is also saying that apps have been down for both United and Delta. Whether they've checked their bag or not, they've had trouble checking bags today. Again, American Airlines has now started to depart flights out of KCI. Southwest was not really affected by this. They have had maybe some delays, but most of their flights are now taking off on time. We'll bring you more updates when we know, but right now just be prepared, and be prepared that you may have to find another way to get to where you're going this weekend, or you may not be getting there at all. Back to you guys.
As a voice for everyone, we've been bringing you the forefront, the concerns of people impacted by this morning's outage. And KSHB 41 News reporter Claire Bradshaw, she's been at KCI all this morning as everything's kind of been developing. Claire, we watched as airlines one by one started to slowly leave our local airport. What's going on now?
Hey, good morning, you guys. Want to give you what we know right now. The good news for travelers is that Delta, American, and United all have departing flights from MCI. Now, that was not the case earlier this morning. American Airlines was affected by the outage. They started sending people out earlier this morning. Delta, United, just within the last hour and a half, started their departure flights up again. This is a look at the baggage counters right now. This is where we saw some really hectic lines. I actually just spoke with a group of women who got a refund from Delta because they were not going to be able to make their cruise. They were going to have to travel overseas for that. They could not get the flights in time to get to their cruise. So that's what people are dealing with, rescheduling travel or just giving up on it. We have also video of what it looked like earlier today when it's slightly a bit more hectic here. It's been a headache, to say the least, for these travelers that I've talked with. The consensus from people I spoke with, they were not told by whatever airline they were flying with that there were issues with travel today until they typically arrived at the airport. One person tweeted to me that they didn't know until they were at their gate. For a while, though, people were not able to check their bags or have access to their airline apps for help, which was something that they were being pushed to go to. Flights were canceled, delayed for a few hours, some even delayed until tomorrow. Some people had their connecting flights changed, but this is the reality of this IT outage when we live in a technology-centered world.
We weren't quite prepared for the mess we walked into.
So far on CNN, it said it was a ground stop. So I just came here hoping, but I rented a car so I can drive home to Houston just in case, because I've been through a couple of these and just hope to get home.
That's kind of the world we live in when we're so heavily reliant on technology.
If you don't make an extra plan, then you're going to be stuck here at the airport or in Kansas City. But it's a nice city, so I didn't mind it. If I'm stuck here a couple of nights, I wouldn't mind it at all. It was a good time.
So the good news, again, United, Delta, American all have flights leaving, but we do know that this is going to have some effect long-term on the flight schedule. Until that flight schedule fully recovers from today's delays and cancellations, MCI and the airlines are telling you, check in with your respected airline that you're flying out of, see what your flight status is. You need to double check that it's not been delayed or canceled overall. You can do that on the airlines app. You can also do that on FlyKC's website. If your flight did change, Delta, American, and United have waivers that you can access online. Reporting at KCI, I'm Claire Bradshaw, KSHB 41 News.